Hey, how are you guys doing today? So when we last left off, we had done an experiment with this emergency heating method in which basically you use a terracotta pot and um, lard, which is basic normal lard. Now, what we did is we used for our wicks just normal hemp cord, hemp twine like this. This, of course, is just a tuna can. It turns out from the last experiment we did, which I'll link in the video description and stuff and in the video, um, what happened is we were able to get 10 hours of heating through just a tuna can with, of course, 2 wicks. Now, that was a good stream and stuff, but during that stream, the question came up of can you cook using it? Now, see, the deal is this is a great emergency method of heating. It also is a very low signature method of heating, and I'm going to go ahead and show you that first. Now, in our last video, during the 10-hour stream in which we were finding out how long one of these would burn with the 2 wicks, we did actually get an egg, put a little egg on this top surface, and we did end up denaturing the proteins and stuff like that, which basically meaningfully it would have cooked. It was a little slower than I thought. Now this of course has 3 wicks in it this time, so it's going to produce, more heat. Um, right off the bat, I'm going to show you how that lights up. These were soaked in the lard already, the wicks, so they're going to light up pretty good once they do light up. It takes a second to get going. But once you get these going, they're absolutely seriously effective. I was impressed with the amount of heat that actually came out of this. Hold on 1 second. Try this a little bit better. Maybe I can get 2 at once right here. But as the hemp starts wicking it up, you can see the flames pretty significant. Um, this will come down further. Let's get it down into there. But it produces a good amount of light. And then I'm going to show you how much that diminishes, of course, once you get this all together. And I'll break that down for you real quick. So you see the light here. I'm going to flip off the lights real quick in my house and this light right here so you can see the overall brightness of this. Okay, so that's not horribly bright, but it is a little bright. Now, in order to actually make this function better, you take the pot, put it right over the top like this, and you can already see how much light diminished has happened, right? Now I'm going to show you the rest of it before, and you're going to see why this is such an amazing low light signature heating method and why for an emergency it could really matter. And then we're going to get right to answering that question of if we could cook. As you can see, I have a piece of steak and a piece of dough for making some bread. That ought to, answer the 2 big questions. We're going to be able to check and see how hot this is in a second. It is pretty hot. My hand went over that hole and I was not confused if there's some heat coming out that. I do have one of these little baking type thermometers. I don't have a thermal gun or something like that to be able to more scientifically check it. I wish I did. Maybe I'll get one of those. This does look like it's going up in temperature though. And of course that's way down there. Unless I get it towards the thing and then it won't be right. And I'm going to show you. So these on top, I put pennies as spacers, right? Um, you're going to want a spacer because you have to have air holes. Some air has to be able to circulate for this to function correctly anyway. So as you're going to see, I'm going to put this on top. I'm going to flip off the lights one more time, and you're going to see just how freaking, oh yeah, we're heating up in there. We're not hot enough to cook bread yet. But in theory, the way I've set this up with this basket I jerry-rigged, it's going to be above there. I don't really believe I gave us enough room, guys, honestly. And that's just going to be the honest truth about this. We'll see what we can do here. I'll see if I can actually set this up to where let's look at this real quick with the lights off so you can see what I'm talking about signature wise if you're trying to keep warm and keep a low light signature. Now I'll show you that. So I think you would agree that's very, very little light being given off, but yet you're providing for some functional heat, right? Um, I've got to figure out exactly how we're going to jerry rig this up to cook because I've never actually tried to cook in one of these before. So real quick, as we're sitting here, I'm going to try to amend what I thought I was going to do at the very start of the video. And we're going to try to set this up to where there's enough space off that flame. We can see if we can cook that steak. Well, those are already warm. Luckily, I do have gloves, guys. So we're not just like going to fry my hands tonight for fun. It's always a good idea not to do that. Let's see how we can rig this. This pot's already hot, but it's not super hot yet. Okay, so this is what we're looking at right now. I mean, obviously, I'm going to flip it up the correct way, and I'm going to have to pin the stuff in here. Let's look at what we can do here. I'm going to take this piece of meat real quick. This thing's going to get hot. Definitely going to want to have gloves if you try to cook like this, guys. Take our piece of meat, throw in here. There's a chance I'm going to have to do some cleaning stuff before we get a move on to the bread. Who knows? Never tried to do this before, so that's why we call it an experiment, guys. Okay, so and if anybody's expecting me to cook this gourmet style of some kind where we functionally know for sure that we did a good job, don't expect that from what we're doing. We're experimenting. Now, legitimately, I'm not going to put the cap back on because we're going to be able to look down in here, and because basically I'm using this wire to hold the thing off, I'm going to actually look down in here now. Man, I did a bad job of making that even, just so you guys know. No, crap, I can hear it cooking. Hold on, I'm going to put my mic near it. I don't know if that'll actually work. Okay, well, legit, it's freaking hot. Let's check this. Okay, so I'm right above the little cooking plate. We're at 180 degrees. We're at 200 degrees. I can smell the steak cooking, guys. 200, we just passed 200 degrees. So my food thermometer passed the 200 degree mark. So it's 200 degrees in there at minimum. Guys, my little food thermometer doesn't really go past that for some reason. I don't know why, but it did go past it. It just, oh, okay. So it has indicators of different kind on there. Hold on. Oh, holy crap. Yeah, that's, yeah, this is for checking the internal temperature of stuff. It's not really for what I was just using it for, but I kind of wanting to have some kind of context if there's sufficient heat in there, not sufficient heat in there, you know what I'm saying? Super interesting. I can smell it cooking though, you guys. So because I've never cooked a steak like this legitimately, um, I think you guys will understand with me not really having an approximate, hey, how long we want to cook this time. Whew. Can you guys smell? Well, you guys can't smell it. Holy crap. I was about to ask if you guys could smell that, but that is a firm no. So I am successfully cooking it. I can smell it sizzling away in there. And so, how long are you guys thinking we do this? Cooking a steak. I don't want to, I mean, it's probably going to get ruined at this rate, but because I don't know what I'm doing. It definitely looks like you can cook a steak in there, though. And in all honesty, if you didn't care about your light signature or anything else and you just wanted to sit there with a stick and a piece of meat above a fire, you know it's probably going to cook it too, just to be honest. So that's handy to know. Kind of interested to look in there, but this isn't like an actual conventional oven. Oh, guys, we're totally cooking. Think we should flip it? I'm going to have to do so much work to flip this around, but I think we should flip it at some point, right? Hold on, I'm going to get stuff ready to flip this. Okay. Now, because I don't have a lot of experience or any experience with cooking inside of terracotta pots, um, don't be shocked when this is a little sloppy or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to try to do this smooth, but honestly, I don't think anybody's about to open up a restaurant doing it this style anytime soon. I could be wrong. Okay, ready? In theory, what's the best way to do this? Don't fall down, little steak. Okay. Then when we squeeze this baby, let it down, pop this up. Oh, guys. Okay. So definitely we needed to flip this. That's a for sure. If anybody was wondering about this, okay, let's flip this baby up. I'll show you the bottom real quick. Obviously, hold on. Obviously, you can see the char going in here, right? Now I'm going to show you. This is steaming. I don't know if you'll be able to see the steamingness. You see how it's a little crispy on the edges right there? I think you can see the steaming a little bit. I'm going to put this back in here, get it on the other side. Honestly, it's not cooking it through because I'm not a rare steak guy, guys. The way I like it, so I don't know the exact approximate cook time on this kind of thing at all. But we are succeeding. Let's look. I'm going to probably want two gloves on. Got situations here, right and left. Okay, we're going back in. We'll try not to burn ourselves in any way. And honestly, guys, there has to be a better method than this. If you guys mess around with this and you want to tell me, hey, I did it this way and it worked way better than what you're doing. If I really was good in metal fabrication or something like that, I think I would build myself a better rack that just held it more up into the top, honestly. But who knows? I'm not gonna pretend to have the definitive answer on how you're best to cook stuff in your emergency situation. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so we're back off on this again. Honestly, I don't even think this is going to be a horrible light signature if we were cooking like this. Let's look at what's going on here. You guys feel that that's pretty good, right? I mean, I feel it's pretty freaking good. Oh, I will absolutely drink some water and stuff too. Thank you, by the way. I'm gonna flip on the light because I don't really think there's a huge benefit for me just showing you guys how little this gives off in light, but the fact that it's gonna cook for for so much time is pretty impressive too. Hold on one second, I'm grabbing a water real quick, just so you see. Real boom. Did grab it. So we're gonna let that cook for a second longer. Honestly, I don't know if I'm gonna drink or eat this. I'm gonna drink the water for sure, but eat the steak. We'll look at when we get done with what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? See what's going on before I decide I'm gonna try to taste our probably charcoal on the outside. Oh, guys, it's cooking though fast. Here's what I'm gonna tell you. You're gonna want to have it up higher than where I have it. So what you'd want is to have it up at least a couple more inches. I'm too close to the flame, guys, if you're wondering. And I'm actually super concerned about that with our piece of bread here. But but we'll move past that and we'll figure it out from there. Maybe we'll readjust this between the steak. In fact, I'll probably readjust it between the steak just to be honest, but yep. It's definitely cooking fast though. Kind of impressive. I hope none of you guys actually ever have to, in real life, depend on having to use this for emergency heating slash and or cooking your food. But if so, legitimately a tuna can, some hemp twine, and a little bit of lard, and that is like days and days and days of fuel. Each tuna can with just 2 wicks will burn for 10 hours. And of course, let me go ahead. I'm going to link that video uh, right here in the chat in case you guys are curious about that. Hold on one second. Kind of moving things around all the time. Okay. And so the fact that you can get 10 hours of heat out of a single tuna can, freaking epic. I'm going to bet that we're done with the steak. Honestly, this seems like, guys, cooking a steak in a terracotta freaking pot. Who would have known, right? Nobody plans that out very well, I don't think. Let's hope. Okay, we've got this there. See how we haven't even dented the fluid on there and how freaking bright that is though? Guys, that's insane, right? Okay, so we do like that. Just drop that baby down there. See what we're like. Oh, guys, I think I got a steak done actually. I mean, it doesn't definitely not looking like the best steak I've ever cooked. So I'm not going to pretend. So let's not pretend like, oh, but this is totally a steak finished. Look, guys, it's steaming. You guys see that steam coming off of it? It's overly done. Let's cut it open. I don't really have a normal knife here, so let's just cut it open with a handy dandy. Well, that thing's disgustingly dirty. Let me go get a non-outdoor, hey, let me work on stuff knife that I feel comfortable with actually cutting something with. So yeah, the answer is yes, you could 100% cook a steak at minimum inside of this, which means you could honestly cook other things. Probably the primary thing that's important is that you could boil water and purify it inside of it, but I mean, the other stuff's nice too, right? Just trying to find I found like 20 butter knives in a row looking for a steak knife. Okay, I'm cutting it open. probably not necessarily going to eat it, but maybe I will take a bite. Oh no, we're cooked. That's okay. I'm going to show you the thing. If I liked whatever it's called, where there's that more like bloody typeness to it, this would probably be good for me. I would cook it maybe a little bit more for my personal preferences. Honestly, I'm going to eat some of it anyway. Well, I'll tell you if it's actually okay. Yeah, it's cooked. It's not good steak at all. I mean, like it's totally burnt on the outside and stuff like that. But that definitely is cooked. Totally not the best steak I've ever cooked. In fact, holy crap, I wouldn't want to like. I wouldn't be serving that to guests, to be honest, guys. Absolutely a horribly cooked steak. So let's see on the bread situation. Are these cooled down enough that we could switch them onto a new thingamajig? Yeah, we could. Okay. Or do we just cook the bread in here and disregard that it's going to stick to the bottom, guys? For the purposes of my life going smooth tonight, we're going to just throw it in there. It'll probably stick to the bottom. I do have some Pam. I don't know if that'll matter at this situation. Can I be honest, guys? My fear on the bread situation is that if I don't pull this up higher, it's just going to burn. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so this is legit dough. Because I made bread like this last weekend. It was really freaking good. Okay, so obviously this isn't going to be the best, highest quality bread ever pumped out in the universe. But in theory, we're about to freaking cook bread in a terracotta pot that we just cooked a steak. That no, is it the steak I'm the most proud of in my life? Frick, no. Would we not die because we were able to eat a steak? Well, yeah, that would happen. Hey, Leon Hawkeye, I hope you're a great day, having a good day. Yes, what we're doing? No, I'm not giving myself salmonella. Oh, you know what? I had a meat checker thingy. I could have checked the temperature on it. But no, it charcoalized the outside of the steak. For sure, the steak was of sufficient temperature. It was a crap steak, guys. Honestly, because I didn't know how this was going to work out, I'm going to tell you, I used a chuck roast. So what we have is a chunk of chuck roast there because I didn't want to like use a high quality piece of steak for experimental cooking in here because I was pretty sure that it might not turn out to be the best. Okay, guys, I've got this up here a little bit, but my concern really is that this terracotta pot doesn't have enough spacing from here. This is freaking hot with the 3 wicks. It's not messing around. So we know the steak definitely would get cooked. You could even overcook it into charcoal if you felt like it. This is super charcoaly though. Look at this. I'm not trying to give myself salmonella, like at all. Like no way. Um, can I tell you, this is definitely not the best steak I've ever cooked, and my control of the temperature on that was horrible. Like if you were actually having to do this all the time, you'd be wanting to figure it out a lot more. Maybe that third candle wick that I put in because I thought I'd need the extra heat for cooking, maybe it wasn't really needed. You know what I'm saying? Maybe 2 candle wicks was plenty of heat, and I might have overkilled it. I mean, this is honestly not some kind of science where I'm going to tell you guys, nah, I got this worked out. Legitimately 100%, I do not have this worked out. That's why it's an experiment. The reality of it is that when we were doing the hey, how long would a tuna can full of lard last experiment, it came up that, hey, could you cook stuff in there? Reality is, I honestly didn't know. And so we popped an egg on top of the top right there. You can kind of see where it's still kind of trashed because of it. And it was able to cook the egg on the top. I mean, it took a while and stuff like that. And we kind of came up with that towards the later, on in the night, which, in all honesty, was a long night. I'll admit to that. This isn't going to be. Bread takes about 23 minutes to cook. I mean, obviously, this isn't 350 degrees in there, but it was hotter than 200 degrees for sure. Oh, yeah, it's way hotter than 200 degrees. So, um, we've got sufficient temperature to cook things. Uh, the thing is, though, the heat is right frickin' there on it. Oh, that bread's rising, guys. I'm not going to tell you guys I'm going to do a good job on this bread, by the way. And by the way, Leon, if I do have food poisoning tomorrow, we will know what happened to me. Like it won't be confusing. I hope I don't give myself food poisoning, but honestly, the temperature right here, it's within the zone. You know what I'm saying? We should be good. What's crazy impressive though is look at this while you're cooking. If I flip off the light, look at the light signature on this if you had to use this for emergency purposes. I know. Everybody's so excited about that, I'm sure. You should be. I don't think anybody's going to have to use this for any reason. I don't think, you know what I'm saying? But it's an overall interesting thing, you know what I'm saying? You could use this though for other reasons, like if you were on a camping trip or something. Oh, my bread's going to totally burn on the bottom, guys. I'm going to have to flip this bread. So my fear about the situation, um, with it being close to the bottom, that's going to be real. So there's no way I'm going to get bread cooked like this without making it fall. Okay, guys? So like a high quality bread, not happening. Biscuits maybe or something like that. That might be where we're shooting at. Because I'm pretty sure I'm burning my bottom. I can smell it. You know what I'm saying? It's cooking for sure. But you're gonna have to, we're gonna have to really look at this actually. Yeah, watch. Okay, so our little piece of bread is getting bigger. The bottom is burning a little. Oh, yeah, like a biscuit. See, look at that. I'm gonna have to flip this baby. Guys, here's the problem. What I think the thing is gonna be is that if we wanted to do this really, because here I'm gonna show you what we're having going on already. And this is why it's called an experiment. And you guys can tell me if you think that there's some ideas. I'm willing to try other things later on. Get on this glove. Okay, so here's what we got going on. See how I burnt my bottom already? But my top is still doughy, right? So let's think of what we do. We squish it down maybe a little bit. Cook it for a second, flip it. Cook it for a second, flip it. Like a flatbread. Okay, well I'm willing to do the legwork on this and find out what we do. Let's do this. Okay. Let me figure out how to get this shoved back in here and back on the fire. So honestly, this is the problem. It might be too hot in there. I might not have should have added that third wick. Maybe the third wick was that extra little bit of temperature that we didn't need. And I was so sure we did because when we cooked the egg on the top, it really felt like I don't know, it felt like we needed more, but now that I'm in this situation, I'm not a million percent sure we did, guys. This is a situation, all right. You could boil water in here though, for sure, if you needed to. So we're good on the. You could cook a piece of meat. You could boil water. You know, I dropped this earlier, and there's a slight crack in it. And I'm just noticing, I didn't think I actually cracked it earlier. Um, but I'll be having to buy a new terracotta pot, let's just say, to do this safely in the future. I'm okay with that. Not a massive expense, but. Oh, I got it way better pinned up top. Guys, this might be good. We'll let it run for a second again. Yeah, this is absolutely just shameful, guys. See how burnt the outside of the steak is, though? Do you see this caramel? I mean, that's just charcoal, guys. That's what I'm talking about. So it's hot. It's hot enough that, like, I didn't not only cook the steak, we're too close to the steak and we have too much heat. So if you guys are wondering about that part, like, for sure you can cook a steak. Maybe you're going to want to play with it. I don't know if the three candle wicks was a good idea. You know what I'm saying? It might just be a little bit too much. Or maybe it's I just need to figure a better way to have it pinned up in the top area where it's up away from it. I don't know. Always fun to find these things out. Okay, let's find out if we got some more bread on the bottom. I'll flip it again. I'm trying to make it to where we actually have some kind of more refined technique at the end of the night from what we're doing. On top of that, it'd be nice if we had a successful piece of bread I could show you guys. You know what I mean? Like I get that you guys are going to look at what I'm doing. You're probably going to do it different because it's very apparent that this isn't the very best way, right? Everybody sees that there has to be a better way than how I just did it. We're just getting it done. So like legitimately, I assume that if you guys were in a situation, you would do something more than the hey, what I threw together while we were getting ready for doing this. Oh yeah, we're getting bread here. I like legitimately it doesn't look like my gorgeous piece of bread that I made over the weekend, but this is gonna turn into some kind of bread. We're still doughy though in sections, so it's not cooking like as evenly as I'd want, but we're definitely turning into some bread here. Ah, see, but the thing is, we're gonna burn the outside by the time we have it cooked on the inside. This is the problem. So look how we are starting to already burn on the outside. We don't have a biscuit. I definitely am still raw. Like, how about, you know what we should probably do? Is probably have this half as thick. Like, this is probably way too thick. I probably should have cut this in half. Let's do this. Well, I guess we're cross food contaminating right now, guys. Prepare to be food violated or something. It'll be okay. Oh, I guess it was kind of cooking in the middle a little bit. It's doughy though anyway. So it's going to cook better this way. I know that that's contaminated. Don't worry. We're not probably going to use it that way. Okay, we've got that baby in there. So I thinned it down, guys, because I think that it's going to cook better thinned down a little bit better, which I probably should have done in the first place. Let's try to get this a little bit more even so it's not just doing some weird thing that it was doing. Okay, we've got it. By the way, it is cooking. I'll show you this other side so you can see that it's actually, man, this seems like I really got this thing messed up now. I'm putting it in here so we can see what we got going on. Okay, so I'm going to show you this piece. I'll cook it the rest of the way anyway when that other piece is done. So you can see, well, that doesn't actually help you guys as much as I thought it was going to. See how it is kind of turning to bread in the middle? So I thought it was pure dough. It isn't. It is actually cooking a little. It's not cooking that fast. Oh, a pot pie might would work. Honestly, the biggest situation right now, in my opinion, is that I don't have a good fixture. What I'm using isn't the best thing. I honestly need some kind of like a rack or something like that that's like has legs on it, or I don't know. I'm gonna think about it. I mean, we're gonna get through tonight. We're gonna get some bread cooked and stuff. But it is very, very apparent that there has to be an absolutely better way to do this. I'm not sure what that is yet, and we'll figure that out. Let's just be honest. I mean, like everything else is good, right? Like honestly, if I had two terracotta pots, right? Terracotta pot on terracotta pot, and then we put like a grill between there or something. I don't know. I'm trying to think of really the best way. If you guys do have ideas and stuff like that, you're more than welcome to comment and stuff. Try to be supportive and not negative. But like in all honesty, it's legit. Like probably is something method wise that could be used that would be a better fixture than the little cup I'm using right now. Although honestly, this looks like it's cooking fast, guys. Now that we've cut it thinner, you guys want to see if it's done? Let's check this baby. Oh, it's probably not done, but you know, like, holy crap. Let's see what goes on here. Guys, don't be blown away if my wire breaks from bending it back and forth again and again, too. I mean, that's not going to shock me. Guys, we might have a piece of bread looking thing here going on almost. I'm not joking. Like, oh, check this out, guys. I mean, I'm going to cook it a little bit more on both sides. Like maybe one more flip on both sides, but we really do have like a little biscuit here. I mean, I know it's not the best looking biscuit you guys have ever seen. I get that. I'm not going to try to pretend on that stuff. But, like, we literally are actually accomplishing making a biscuit in a Terra frickin' Cotta Pot. I mean, like a weird biscuit. But it is. Yeah, that's what I would say is if we need, yeah, something to get it away from the flame. Just a little bit, too. Like, maybe honestly, it could be something as simple as if I would have bought one size bigger terracotta pot. The thing is, I never really buy terracotta pots for the purpose of cooking it. You know what I'm saying? Normally, my terracotta pot buying is very much oriented around planting plants in them. I mean, I know about the emergency technique for using them for heating and stuff like that. And I think that's an amazing technique. But that's not even why I buy them. Like I just actually really feel that that's something that you can share with people, and if it does help them one day, that's great. Okay, we've got this baby set up. This is fascinating though. I wasn't honestly sure, guys, if this was gonna work. I was a little hesitant. And so you could definitely cook a soup in here. Like something with water in it. Like, I mean, I don't have any of that ready and stuff like that to cook a soup in here, so that's not what we're doing tonight. I feel that we've proved that you could cook a soup with the fact we burnt our steak and we're going to have bread going on. Um, but And I'm probably not going to cook a second piece of bread just to cook it, just to be honest. Once we cook one, we know it can be done. But in all honesty, a soup would have been the best choice in something like this. I'm thinking that really would have been. On top of that, if you're in a situation where you're ending up having to use emergency heaters and stuff like that that are low light signature, you probably want a warm soup. Just gonna say that might be a thing that people like. And remember that we're just using a tuna kit fish can size thing of this lard, which you can use any lard, by the way. It's not like I'm using special lard. Okay, I'm gonna flip our biscuit one more time. Now let's wait 1 second. I don't want to be overzealous. Guys, I'm cooking without clock time or anything here right now. This is like blind cooking like crazy, which I don't do. Interesting. I will try this bread. It's probably going to be safe. It's going to get cooked through. Don't worry, guys. I'll show you it. Then we'll check it out. I'll tell you if it's any good. Probably it's going to be okay. A burnt steak upsets me though. The burnt steak was just freaking ridiculously not satisfying. You don't want to burn your steaks, guys. Okay, pulling this baby off again. Oh, look at that. I knocked over one of our wicks. So I use aluminum things like aluminum little anchorings when I put the wicks in usually. So they don't normally fall over like that. Just so you guys know. Obviously I did a kind of crappy job on my wicks this time. Oh, let's get this baby out. We still have 3 going, but in all honesty, I didn't do the greatest job on my wicks. I was kind of trying to get this set up. Oh, guys, I don't even know if I'd have to flip this over again. I probably could eat this now. I'm just very hesitant to eat random bread that we're cooking in a crock pot without knowing it's done. I burnt that though for sure. You guys want to open it up and see, or you think we should flip it? I'll flip it one more time. I think that might be a. Now let's just check it. So I think this is done right now. It's freaking hot as heck. Okay, so I'm gonna open this up. Wow, this is burning like crazy. This is done. You guys see that? See, we cooked bread. We burned a steak. We cooked some bread. I did a sloppy job on my wicks, guys. Honestly, I'll work on that. Um, oh, it's bread. So yeah, you can cook bread. Oh, if I were camping, that would have tasted epic, dude. Camping food is always good. But straight up, that was a finished biscuit. Like, it wasn't an issue with it at all. I'm going to put this baby out right now. Um, I'll probably do a real quick video on how to make these. I'm going to do a better job, and I'm going to get it down where these don't flip over like that once it liquefies, in all honesty, you guys. That's actually something I want to try to get up this next week. Um, Outside of that, I don't really know the exact way to make it where we have a better cooking rack. Definitely something has to keep it up higher, away from the flame. And outside of that, maybe really, in all honesty, I'd be wanting to cook something that was more of a soup. But you could boil water. You could definitely also, well, you could cook. You could cook a steak, make some bread, boil some water, and make a soup in it. That's a pretty wide variety of stuff. I do hope this helps you guys out. Honestly, fascinating to me. I'm going to look into some more things that we can kind of look into experiment wise. I don't have a really great list of them. If you guys have reasonable ideas that probably are, along the line of, hey, this would be interesting, feel free to shoot them at me. Like, I like interesting things and I love finding out new things. Thank you guys for hanging out. I hope you guys have a great evening. Peace and